as far as tackling is concerned, when you're thudding people up, it's easier to tackle to the ground at practice. And obviously there's situations that comes up as injuries and things like that. But when you're thudding a ball carry up, it's a lot harder to thud a ball carry up in practice than it is take it to the ground. Because you got to work on your footwork, you got to work on your pad level, and you got to be an athlete. So I think that helps you tackle. And it's about putting guys in a situation to do so. I think everybody across the board worked on tackling this week, even the big guys in space. And I think there's some opportunities we left out there that we couldn't get the quarterback on the ground, whether we're trying to sack him or affect him or whatever may happen. So that's always improvement. And you look around college football, and everybody has to work on it day in and day out. So that's what it is. You got to focus on that stuff, and it never gets old, and you never can't do it.
When you were playing, what was practice?
Well, when I played, I had leather helmets. And, no, it was the same thing. It was literally putting guys in situations to make plays. So, we did that at that position, and you still thudded people up. You just can't afford to go out and tackle them to the ground every day. You can't do that. And we did the same thing then, and it's been like that for a long time all across the country.
Coach Groom came and spoke to the team here recently. Just what do you think of that message of that Alabama fraternity?
I think it was dead on. Obviously, he knows he's had a lot of success both on the field and coaching, and that's true. It's a Crimson Jersey fraternity, and I don't know if people understand the significance it has to wear the Crimson Jersey and represent not only the people on the field but all the fans that we have. And it's a high expectation. It's always been, regardless of circumstances. That's what it's always been, and that's why people come to Alabama.
How do you think the players kind of embraced that message?
They did. They did a really good job. Actually, some of my guys asked about it and who he was, and I told them. But it's good to hear what he had to say for them guys. I know sometimes, some of those guys don't understand the significance of playing here, and they learn as they go. It's part of their development. But they received it and took it the right way, and they got to continue to get knowledge of what's going on and how we're doing things.
We saw both offenses see them play at the same time on the D-line last Saturday. What went into doing that?
This part of the package we got. We're trying to get good players on the field, and we had several guys rotate in at the same time. But those two have done a really good job. They continue to work. They play the same position. So when you can get them on the field to try to affect the passer, that's a plus for us.
Having them both on the field at the same time, what does that do for just the rest of the defense?
I think it just, when you got Jihad out there and those guys, they can rush. That's what they play. They're edge guys who can go out there and put pressure on. We just got to get the quarterback on the ground when we're trying to affect him. But those two guys are leaders for us. I know obviously LT transferred in, and Latham's been here for a while, but those two guys feed off each other. They do a really good job.
Tennessee's got a running back who's been pretty dynamic this year, a lot of touchdowns. What kind of stands out about him on film?
The guy is a really good football player. Obviously, scored a lot of touchdowns. He's got good balance and body control. He got a burst that can finish long runs. He's hard to bring to the ground. We have to do our job as far as fitting the gaps. When we had an opportunity to wrap him up and bring him to the ground.
What kind of stands out about their overall run game, offensive line included?
They do a really good job. They spread guys out a lot. And limit who you can have in the box and run. Offensive line's physical up front. They're big. There's three of them that's been playing for a long time. So they've been consistent. I think people look at them and think they just throw the ball all the time. They do a really good job of running as well.
Going back to what he was talking about with the Bandits, Jordan's played a little bit more. Just how have you seen him?
Jordan's grown up. Jordan's always had ability. I think just learning what's going on and being consistent in doing it. He's done that, and he has gained the respect of this staff to have the opportunity to go out and play, and I think you see that.
We've heard from James Smith a little bit more recently.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of noticed the energy that he kind of brings. How does he kind of bring that same energy to the defensive line room?
Yeah, I think James he is fun to be around, to say the least. But James has a unique ability. He can rush and he can play the run, which he's grown up to. Those guys, Jordan, James, Edric Hill, all those guys have made strides. And Tim Smith's a senior, so someone's going to have to step up when that time comes. But James got to continue to learn and continue to fight. He fought his butt off and has all season, in which he's earned extra snaps too.
Apologies if you've been asked this, but when you think of the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry, what comes to mind?
It's a big game because it's the next game. Obviously it's a rivalry, and we understand the significance of that. But we're focused on the next game and the next opponent. You can't make it big here. You can't, like, that's what we're focused on. I think you put everything in perspective and understand what they're doing as a scheme. You know, regardless of the team and where they're located, we have to do our job to have a chance to be successful.
Do you feel like, but for a guy in the trenches with a game like this, does it feel different, like in terms of?
At the end of the day, you're attacking a tip. You're playing around, you're playing a gap, you're rushing a guy that's trying to block you. You know, we can make it what we want to make it, but at the end of the day, it's the game of football.
How important is depth and getting guys prepared to play against like an up-tempo offense like Tennessee?
Yeah, I think, and that's what we've been trying to do all year, was get guys ready and develop them so they'd have opportunity to come in. You know, regardless if it's tempo, if they're just old school huddle like back in the day, but just being able to have a group of guys that can rotate and do the things that we have to do to be successful, you know, I think it helps. And then when you face a tempo team, you have guys that are comfortable, that's played significant snaps, that can help you win ball games.
What have you really seen from Nico Leava so far?
Really good athlete. The guy can run, he can throw, he can do it all. For him to be the age that he is, to see him go out there and do the things he's doing is impressive. And they've got a really good football team. It's like I was telling guys earlier, physical up front. They got 3 interior guys that's been there for a long time. You know, really good football team. He's done a hell of a job. That thing hurting your shoulder, man, look like it's heavy.
Yeah, struggling.
Gee, man. You could have asked one of them to hold it for you, you've been all right.
Has there been like a certain player that has really given you trouble in the film room, whether it's an offensive lineman, running back?
I think
quarterback?
all of them. I mean, overall, they're a really good football team, and he's had a lot of success there since he's gotten there. And obviously, that environment there is tough to play in. So, you know, obviously the quarterback's a really good player. They got a really good running back. Those guys up front, they got wideouts that can play really good football.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Freddie.
Anytime.